Hello, I am Carrie and I am back with another pick a card reading. And today, the reading is going to be what have you forgotten about yourself? I think sometimes when we go through um, unsure times or we go through something new or something that we don't know the outcome to, if we're going through that, then we can become unsure about ourselves and we can forget ourselves and like our skills, our gifts, the things that we're good at. And so for this reading, I just want to remind you, what you forgot. What did you forget about yourself? Before we get started with pile one, pile two, and pile three, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your love, your light, your positive energy. Thank you so much for just watching, subscribing, liking, all of that. Um, and yeah, let's get started with the reading on what you have forgotten about yourself. I'm just going to start over here with pile one. All right, pile one. Move that out the way. I only picked a few cards because I don't really want a very long reading. So the first card I want to be what it is that you've forgotten about yourself. That's going to be King of Pentacles. Interesting. So the King of Pentacles, he's on his throne. King of Pentacles has everything he needs. Can't really say that King of Pentacles is lacking money because he's not. As a matter of fact, he's very good with money. He knows how to receive money, how to give money. He knows how to have you ever known someone who got a whole bunch of money, but they didn't know what to do with it? The King of Pentacles would know exactly what to do with that money. Like, say somebody who won the lottery, 2 years later they lost all the money they won because they just used it frivolously. King of Pentacles would never do that. He would flip it and then flip it again and then flip it again because he knows money. Like, he understands that. It's in his realm. As a matter of fact, he's one of the best out there because this is tarot. King is the highest you can go unless you're going to do major arcana. But the emperor, I guess, could be higher than the king, but that's only because the emperor has mastered other things, not necessarily that he's mastered money more than the King of Pentacles. Anyway, I'm saying all that to say that you may have forgotten your skill when it comes to money. You could also be worried a little bit about your finances, or I don't know, any kind of thing. And I'm just going to get some clarifying cards so we can see what this has to do with. All right, we've got the Five of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, and the Hermit. Five of Wands is about it's pretty clear what this is about. Sorry, let me move these. It's pretty clear that the Five of Wands is more about fighting happening. This could I just heard anxiety. This could be anxiety. This could be fears around money. This could be something that has to do with let's see. It could be others. I don't know if you're working with other people or investing with other people, but there's some kind of situation in which you're just uncomfortable. You're feeling anxious. Next, we've got the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is all about juggling, trying to juggle. It could be work-life balance. It can be even your finances you're trying to juggle. I don't know. It's some kind of juggling that needs to happen there. Some kind of juggling that... Sorry, I kept hearing this random noise. Okay. So the Two of Pentacles is all about juggling. It's juggling between... It's kind of it's making me think about your life. I've got to make these things work in my life. I've got to make, I got to go get my kids in the evening after work. I got to get my workout in. I got to all these things in your life that you got to kind of do just right for you to get the timing right or whatever. So I'm talking about things in your life, but because we have the King of Pentacles here, it can literally have to do with money. These are pentacles as well, so juggling pentacles. So if you need to invest something, maybe you're trying to invest in something, but you need to get some money that's already being taken and it's over here, but you need to go over here, but trying to get that transition correct to where you take it out and you put it back in, and it's not messing with your timelines or messing with your finances. Literally I'm thinking your credit. it's something like you have enough credit for this, but if you take that out, then it's going to make this go down, and then you might not be able to get it because it's going to show up there. And like I'm hearing all this kind of stuff that basically is saying you, whatever it is that you want to do, you need to be careful about doing. But I'm also kind of getting the energy of like there's more than one way to do this. Like the way that's giving you such anxiety might not be the way to go. There might be another option. And because you are the King of Pentacles, you would be able to have the skills to find that other way, or to figure out like, okay, this is the way for it to go. That's where I'm getting from the Hermit card. So the Hermit, I mean, the Hermit is, he out there by himself. That's the card of Virgo. The Hermit's out there by himself trying to figure this thing out, figure out the best way to go, like the best way forward. And it's funny because when I think about the Hermit, I think about somebody just kind of stumbling around in the darkness and the blind. Like they're blind. They literally cannot really see. Yes, they have a light, but that light is close to their face. It needs to be like illuminating the outside, the part like that's outside of them, but it's kind of like close to their face, so it's like more illuminating things that are closer or near to them, if that makes any sense. So in order for things to be illuminated, it's kind of like you got to go to wherever that thing is, and that's the energy I'm getting for you. I'm really getting like you might have anxiety about needing to move money around if we take this reading literally, but it's kind of saying like instead of doing what you've done before already, or doing something that somebody is telling you to do, it's up to you to like really go and do some research and trying to like figure out, like you need to shine your light and illuminate more of the situation. Like there's more to be seen here. You have forgotten that you do have the skills. Like I'm even getting the energy of like you feel like you got to call somebody in to help you, or call somebody in to make this decision before you, or you got to get daddy or whatever, like someone like that, some kind of like a father figure, or like more of an emperor figure to help you out, when literally that's not what you have to do in this situation. What you would need to do in this situation is just gather more information. So you, Power One, you may have specifically forgotten this thing, that you have the skills and ability to do this, whatever it is, even if it has to do with like going to get a new job, or like going to find a new opportunity for yourself. Like you need a new lead when it comes to like financial whatever. Maybe you work in sales or something, and you need a new lead because you got to hit your numbers and you don't know how you're gonna do it, blah blah blah. And you struggling because you got bills to pay, and if you don't hit your numbers, you ain't getting your money, like that kind of thing. So you might be thinking, look, I have to go talk to someone else, or I have to figure this out with someone else, how I can do this. But no, literally it'd be you kind of like doing some more research or figuring things out by, it's even like trying new things, especially when it comes to sales. I'm not really good at sales, so I cannot tell you a lot about how to do this, but like there's other sales strategies out there that maybe you have not tried. You can literally like go on the internet and look up standard sales strategies, and then look up what are some less used sales strategies, or sales strategies for people who are not great at talking, sales strategies for people who are great at talking, sales strategies for people who don't have as much time in the day. Like literally there's so many different things that you can do based on your gifts, skills, and abilities that maybe you haven't tried yet. So that's what I'm feeling here. I think you forget that you are the King of Pentacles. Like, you know, like if you can get them circumstances to be the way that you need them to be, because I feel like it's a circumstance, then you can make this thing happen. So don't like lose confidence in yourself is what I'm feeling for you, pile number one. I also just want to get a card from this deck, the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards. I always like to get some advice. And Keepers of the Light are going to be great at giving advice when it comes to what you've forgotten about yourself. I kind of feel like pile number one, this energy is like the energy of you just remembering that you have the skills to do whatever it is that you want to do. Like, just keep your confidence and remember there's always more than one way to do something. You don't have to do it in the way that you've always done it, or the way that they told you to do it, or blah blah blah. Like, it's always more than one way to do it. And you can go and talk to an expert or whatever, but don't feel like you have to like hand it off to somebody else to do. So can we get a card of advice here? Just one card, please. Oh, got so many want to come out. All right, I'll give you two. White Eagle, Ancestor Spirit, Connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. And Lord Shiva transcendence. Rise up. Honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. I actually like this a lot. So we've got, this is interesting. When I see this white eagle, I think about ancestral patterns. It can literally be in your life that you may have gotten a certain distance when it comes to finances, but you've never been able to like get to where you want it to be. That could be like a lack mentality or something that was passed down to you from your ancestors. And because this is a Native American person on this card, I just remember from history class all the things that have happened to Native Americans. And in my mind, I'm like, how in the world would you know your worth if people treated you and your lineage like they're worthless for the most recent history? And even still now today, people are treated like they're worthless. So you might not be Native American or even resonate with that story, but if you do resonate with that story, it's reminding me of like, just because people tell you you're worthless and just because people have treated you and your ancestors from, you know, decades and decades and decades ago, even hundreds of years ago, like they were worthless, that does not mean that you are, and that does not mean that they were. It just means that those people were treating you that way. That's what that means. That's it. It doesn't mean that you are or were. But there's some mindsets that come along with that, with being treated like they're worthless. Like in my ancestry, there's slavery, so there's certainly being treated like you were worth less, that you were not even human. And those are some of the things that I personally work on when it comes to finances, like knowing that me working harder is not necessarily going to get me more money. It's me thinking differently, and thinking of myself differently, and remembering that I am a human being and I am worthy. I'm worthy too. I can be a leader as well. I can call the shots. I can have my own business. I can, like, there's so many things that I can do for myself that my ancestors were never even given opportunities to do. And so, like, just to make sure that you're not limiting yourself based off of those types of beliefs. And then this Lord Shiva transcendence. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. There may be some opportunities for you, and you could literally be holding yourself back because of lack of belief in yourself. Again, like, I was getting that feeling of you might be looking for an emperor to come and help you or come and fix it for you, when you have the gift, skills, and abilities yourself to do this. So you might not understand like whatever's going on in this Five of Wands energy. You might not understand like how to get out of it, but know that even if you don't have the answer now, you are capable of finding it. But it would be up to you to do that work to get it. Like, you have to go on this hermit journey, which can be scary, especially when it comes to finances, because that's your money, your livelihood. Nobody wants to be homeless or whatever. But yeah, making sure to, especially with this hermit card, making sure to like make sure you do your own research and your own, like, find the answers for yourself. Don't allow somebody, especially somebody who may not have had the same opportunities that you have, to tell you what is or is not correct. All right, I'm gonna move on to pile 2. Thank you, pile 1. Okay, pile 2, this is your reading. What have you forgotten about yourself? And I'm gonna start with the first card. It's gonna say the answer to what you've forgotten about yourself, and then the rest are just gonna be clarifiers. So for you, we have the Fool. Ooh, I love the Fool card. I love that it's Major Arcana. It's actually the first card in the Major Arcana, and number 0. And it's all about freedom and like naivety. This person is about to walk off a cliff, but they look very happy about it. They've got their little possessions in the little satchel here, got a little flower in his hand. Like, it's very just, and I say they because this person does not seem to be masculine or feminine. They kind of seem to be non-binary. They seem to be very joyful. And normally I see this as mountains, but to me this looks like water. It looks like this person is just about to jump in the ocean. I'm about to drive in the ocean. That's Frank Ocean. What is that song? Swim Good. There we go. So that might resonate with you. Anyway, pile number 2. The Fool is what you've forgotten about yourself. So maybe you forgot this like carefree part of yourself. Maybe you've been all about the business. But let's see. Let's look at the clarifying cards to see what we get. King of Wands, the Empress, and the Seven of Swords. Yeah, pal, too. It seems like you've been all about the business. Like this King of Wands, this card in particular, this one, because I have a few different decks with this King of Wands card in it, and this one in particular, he looks focused. You cannot break his focus. He's like wanting to move forward. You see his fist. He got that Arthur fist. Like he about to, like, don't make me get up out my chair. Make sure this is done and done correctly. Like he's really, really about the business right now. King of Wands is all about creativity, but it kind of reminds me of the Emperor a little bit in that he's like very powerful. He's a shot caller. He's like whatever it is that he's involved in, the energy is going to be moving forward. Like he's very much got this dynamic energy that can push whatever it is forward. But then that's being clarified by the Empress. And the Empress, I won't even say they're opposite energies, but they're not the same. Like, yes, they're both sitting down in their chair, but like I really feel like the King of Wands will jump right up. You know, like, don't make me get up. I keep hearing that. But the Empress, she's not gonna get up. She's too comfortable. Look, she got a pillow. She's got all these comfortable things. Like, she is propped up there nicely. It doesn't even seem like she's using her core to like sit in that chair. She might be leaning on that thing and it's supporting her. So she's very comfortable. She's not even like the Empress. Things will get done, but she ain't finna get up. I can tell you that. She's gonna sit in her chair and be very comfortable while things are getting done. And I kind of feel like, especially since we see this Fool energy, these two energies, because they're so conflicting, there might be some kind of what is it called? Might be a certain amount of this. I want to say discontinuity. That's the word I'm going to go with. A discontinuity between you and yourself when it comes to these two energies. Like maybe you are constantly working because you don't feel like you deserve. I say deserve, but I don't know. It's just going to be based on you. You might not feel like you can sit and be like this Empress and still have things get done. But the funny thing is, like the Empress, she can probably get done more than the King of Wands. Get more done than the King of Wands. Because the Empress is all of the queens put together. The King of Wands is just one king. He got the wand. That's all he got. The Empress got it all. She got the pentacles. She got the sword. So she's got the brains to do it. She's got whatever money that she needs to get it done. And she also has the cups. She's emotionally stable. This King of Wands, I don't know if y'all have known some King of Wands type people, but they are constantly, like what I was saying, I'm about to get up out my chair. Like this King of Wands is going to be constantly like, hey, y'all doing this right? He gonna be like kind of over, what is it when somebody like a boss is like real, just annoying. Micromanaging. There we go. This King of Wands might be micromanaging when it comes to getting things done. He can always like have his hands in something. It's like, dang, we can do it without you. Can you please back up? Like, let us handle it. Whereas the Empress, she will have already made sure people know how to do what they do. She's going to give the direct and they are going to do it, like, because it's the Empress. And they're going to do it like with pleasure. They're going to want to please her because she's the Empress. Like, she's mom. She's not their mom, but it's like that type of energy where you just want to like swear fealty to her because she's got it all. She's the reason that you're there, like that type. Whereas the King of Wands, you might not really want to work with him very long. And this does not necessarily have to do with work. This can literally be in your everyday life in that, like, you could be a father or a mother. Because I'm seeing this Fool as non-binary. I have a feeling we're talking to men and women equally. And we have the King and the Empress, like those are masculine and feminine energies. So we're talking to men and women right now in this reading. Just basically to say, what you've forgotten is that you can do your job or do whatever it is, exist in life. And you don't have to be involved in every single little thing. Like, you can sit back and relax and know that things will get done. As long as, of course, you've sown your seeds properly now. You can't expect people who don't know how to do the job to do it right. You can't expect your kids, if you haven't been there, to help them you know, to raise them properly or teach them things that they will know how to do things now. But if you've already taught them this stuff, you don't have to sit and constantly watch over them. Like, hey, do that exactly right. Like, let them learn and figure things out. And that's what I'm getting here in this Seven of Swords energy. The Seven of Swords energy just always reminds me of lies. Like, I just see lies, lies, lies whenever I look at that card. And in this reading for you, especially pile number 2, I really see that there are some beliefs that you may have that may not be conducive to you being a fool in your own life, being someone who is carefree. It's like you might be having a lot of time. Like, you could have a lot more time to yourself if you just believe that the people around you are capable of doing things without you. And it kind of feels like you don't. It kind of feels like you are always there, always watching over, always making sure. But that type of energy is not really conducive to you having your own life and like fulfilling your own dreams, doing your own thing. Like, it's not really conducive to you. Even like if you want to be a fool and make a leap and do something completely different. Say, for example, you want to switch careers, but you're like, my family, they completely depend on me. They don't know how to survive without me. I need to work, 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 and then I need to come home and make sure everything's done. Like, especially if they're like a mom, because this is the type of mom energy I always see. I've got to, you know, work, and then I got to pick the kids up, and then I got to make dinner, and da-da-da. When, if you wanted to work more on your Empress energy, you would go to work and then pick the kids up or whatever, and then you teach them how to make their own dinner, and then teach one of them how to drive, or teach them how to take the bus, or teach them how to take care of themselves and be self-sufficient so that you can be this Empress. And then you can go off in the full energy and do whatever it is that you want to do. Of course, you can come back and check around and make sure things are good, yes. But it's kind of like your energy is being overused in this one aspect, this King of Wands aspect. I'm even getting like whipping people into shape. Like, you might feel like, again, if you're an employer, that you have to just watch over your employees, that you cannot let them do their own thing. And of course, there's going to need to be some oversight, some checks and balances, but you can even build that into the plan to have people check and balance on themselves. You don't have to be the only one checking and balancing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make it however you want to make it to where people show up for themselves. Like, you don't have to sit there and do all the work on your own. I feel like there's some things that you might believe that you have to do that there are no other options or other ways. And I think you've forgotten that whoever taught you, did they do that to you? Did they micromanage you in that way? I think you've forgotten that about yourself, that you do deserve to be in this Empress energy. You do not need to sit here and watch over every single little aspect of everything. Like, micromanage, it just keeps popping up in my brain. So pile number 2, I think that is what you have forgotten. And I just want to get a card from this deck. This is the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. Love this deck because these guides and guardians are great at giving advice. And I just want one card of advice for you, pile number 2. You got it. Diana. Focused intention. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Oh, I love it. So pile number 2, I'm really getting the energy of like you. It's funny, that's what I'm thinking about, micromanaging. Like, you literally might want something. Maybe you're working on a team and you want something so bad. You want this team to succeed so bad that you're literally sitting there micromanaging and doing all the work. And it's like, because you are overworking yourself, it's kind of like you don't believe that the team can do it without you, like, doing everything. It's like, give the team a chance. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Don't feel like you have to personally make sure that everything gets done or whatever. Like, trust in your team. I think trusting in your team and like giving them space to be their best selves is what Diana is saying here. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Like, what if, whatever this situation is, what if it worked out just fine and you didn't have to do all that? You didn't have to do all that running around, all that micromanaging, all that making sure. Like, you could literally just sit back, relax, and let it come to you because you've already put the work in, because you believe in your team, because you taught them well, because whatever, like whatever the situation is. You don't have to sit there and believe all these other outcomes. Believe the best one, the best possible outcome, as she says. All these other outcomes are not even, like, don't worry about those. Believe the best possible outcome. Don't forget on, like, your intentions, your manifestation. Don't forget about that part. Like, that part of the equation. Yes, there's doing the work, but also there's the believing too. That needs to go, that needs to be a part of the equation as well. All right, pile number 2, we're going to move on to pile 3. Okay, pile 3, this is your reading, and this is what you've forgotten about yourself. Got a few cards here. It's going to be a nice, short, sweet reading, but I just want to start with this first card, which is going to be the answer to what you've forgotten about yourself. Let me make sure there's no nudity. Okay, we're good. So this is your card. What have you forgotten about yourself? This is the 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment, is joy. It's kind of like a super, like, look, there's this man. He's sitting down. He's got all his cups. Everything's good. He's just happy. It's like a really joyous time. So you could call it an emotional high, which is interesting because if it's something that you forgot about yourself, did you forget that you could be happy? Let's see. Let's get some clarifying cards for you, pile number 3. Pile 3. We got the 8 of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Chariot. I just see a lot of movement here in these cards. Like when I look at the 8 of Pentacles, this person is working. Like he's producing those pentacles as fast as he can. The Page of Swords is like trying to get new information. So they got, like, they're standing on their feet. They got the sword in the hand, looking around like, okay, where should I go next? What should I do next? And of course the Chariot is all about movement, but in a forward, balanced way. And I'm thinking for you, pile number 3, what you've forgotten is not that you forgot how to be happy, but I think you forgot to, like, sit back and count your blessings. I think there's a lot of hard work you've been doing. Like, I just get the energy of working hard. Okay, let me check out the next situation. Let me figure out this next thing. Let me go over there and let me start the cycle again. Work hard. Okay, let me figure out this next thing. Let me go over there, start the cycle again. Like, I just really kind of get the energy for you, pile number 3, of just like not really stopping to smell the roses, but kind of keeping, like, you're keeping on this, like, I don't even call it an insane, I don't know, I heard insane cycle. If it feels insane to you, then okay. But you just keep it on this really, really fast cycle of just like constantly moving and going and moving and going, but not really stopping to check, not even trying to stop to see about yourself, but like trying to stop to see about all these, like, look at all these accomplishments that you have. Pile 3, I think, especially because I keep seeing a cycle happening here, I think you keep collecting cups. Like, I'm just going to keep collecting cups, And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that at all, because that's kind of what I like to do. I like to keep collecting cups. I like to, like, go and adventure and find new things to do and new things to conquer and new things to, like, put my time and energy into. But I think that for you, it's kind of difficult to see who you really are if you don't look back and look at all of your accomplishments. Like, if you're only just focusing on the moment and in the now, which is a great thing to do, but you will kind of forget all of your gifts, skills, and abilities that you've used and had before. Like, say you're someone who has did a complete career change just like I did, and I'm a Taurus, so I'm always going to talk about career. If you did a career change like I did, maybe even, for example, right now, I'm reading tarot right now. This is something that I would say I'm new in because I haven't spent, 4 years of college and 2 years of a master's degree getting information about reading tarot. So if I were to call myself a tarot reader, I wouldn't feel as confident as I did, as if I did when I said, whatever career it is that I spent all that time doing the 4 years and the 2 years of a master's. Like, I would feel more confident in that than I did in this. But if I only look at this one aspect of something that I'm trying something new, I don't see how much I've conquered. So for me, I would be looking at myself incorrectly if I only looked at, oh, okay, this one cup that I'm working on right now, that's not even full yet. I haven't filled it up yet because I'm still learning something new here. If I look at myself as that, if I look at myself as my career currently, if I look at myself as where I'm living right now, if I look at myself, like, if I don't see the bigger picture, then I am forgetting everything about who I am. I would need to, if I wanted to look at myself, I would need to look at myself as someone who is really good at learning, because look at all these cups that I've gotten. Somebody who is really good at change in dynamic environments, because look, I've been in all these 9 different places. I would need to look at myself as someone who's comfortable with meeting new people, making new friends, starting over. Like, those are the things that would be defining who I am, rather than, like, say, my career or the current state of my house or the car that I drive. Like, this could all be because of this new thing. This car is a car that I'm driving because I'm a novice in this. I'm driving a novice's car. I'm not driving a emperor's car. I'm driving a page's car, because this is the position that I'm in right now. But once I keep going and keep moving forward and get to this chariot energy, oh snap, look, I got the Tesla now. I got the Benz now. You know, it's going to be different. It's going to keep changing based on where you are. So for you, especially if you're someone who changes a lot, who goes through things a lot, who does a cycle like this, work hard, find something new, move forward to that new place. Okay, let's work hard, find something new, move forward. Like, if you're somebody who keeps starting over, could be with your family, with your career, with your even in your finances. If you take financial risks, and sometimes you're on the top, sometimes you're on the bottom, you couldn't use the same criteria that other people use to, like, say, this is who I am. No, you have to use different criteria, and remember all these cups. Remember all the things you've done. Remember all these skills you have. Remember, like, how valuable you are based upon all these things that you know, not all the things that you have collected along the way. Unless the collection is the knowledge that you've gained, then yes, that could be helpful. But I think you've forgotten how skilled you are. Like, you may have been in tough situations before you got out that thing. And right now you might be in another tough situation and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through. But if you look back at these cups, you're going to be like, oh, I got this. I did this before. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can do it faster this time. Or I can see if I can do it better this time. Or if I can see if I can level it up times 10 this time. Like, it's just going to be based on you, like, remembering who you are to keep your confidence. And know that, yeah, I might be driving the hoopty now. But I'm going to be in the Tesla soon, if you even like Teslas. I'm going to be in the, maybe your dream car is like a truck, one of those big old trucks. I'm going to be in the big old truck soon. You know, like, don't sit here and think that this place that you are is your end all be all, especially if you're someone who keeps starting over, because I see that page and energy in the middle. And I just see all the movement that you're doing. You may have moved and changed so many times. So don't feel at all that you're behind, if you're not doing the right thing. You've forgotten about all the other things that you've done. And if you want to compare yourself to people who are doing the same things as you. Okay, so I want to get some advice from the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards. I was saying if you want to compare yourself, but, like, if you want to compare yourself to someone who has changed a lot, not somebody who's worked 30 years in the same job. Like, that's not going to be a good or fair comparison to you. Anyway, Keepers of the Light Oracle cards, I want to get some advice for you. Just going to shuffle here. Even I'm looking at this curtain, too, that all the cups are sitting on. There's some stuff under that curtain, too, that you... It's like you only see the fruits, but you're not even looking at all the hard work that it took to get there. You really got to remember, like, don't forget all the stuff that you've done. Do you need to have some trophies in your house to remind you? Maybe pictures to remind you? And even, like, if you got a resume, like, do you need to put more on there? Like, I feel like you might be what is it called? Downplaying your abilities. Okay. This is what we have. This card is gorgeous. It's charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask, and you shall receive. Now, this is interesting because I was asking for advice for you. The advice is ask, and you shall receive. I'm just going to say, because this woman on this card is so beautiful. Like, she's gorgeous. Look at all the roses in her hair. It looks like she has a veil on, actually. It's not even her hair, but I'm thinking of, like, one of those ladies who has pink hair, and they just kind of... They show out. They, like, they adorn themselves because they highly value themselves. I just kind of get that energy for you, pile number 3. It's like, value. I think sometimes, especially because you may feel like, oh, I'm not doing the same thing I was doing last year or 2 years ago or 5 years ago. And then the way to make it is that you were supposed to do the same thing for a long time and then save money or invest in this and do that. And you started when you're when you were 5 years old, you would be an expert at playing piano by now. Like all those things, that actually might not be your path. And I think sometimes people can get down on themselves because they're not doing the same thing that other people are doing. But I'm telling you, there's always more than one way to do something. You don't have to be an expert or start when you're 5 to be good at something. You can be good at something and you start when you're 30 years old, but the way in which you do it is like special and unique, and it's something that everybody else is like interested in seeing or supporting. You doing that thing. It's like, oh, the way they play piano, it's very fun. I actually want to pay attention and give all my energy to it. Actually, it's the way that they adore themselves when they play the piano. It has nothing to do with the notes that they play, but the way they look, how they move their body, how their hair moves, how their facial expressions change. Like, that's what's keeping me interested in this. That's what's making me want them to come and play at my concert. Like, it doesn't matter about everybody else. It has to do with you and what you're doing. And so when I see this lady with all this stuff in her hair, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, and she's like adorning herself, I just kind of feel like that's what you have forgotten to do for yourself. You've forgotten like you are special and unique too. You deserve like support and praise and like accolades for all the things you do, even though they are not traditional. Because I feel like whatever it is that you're interested in is not traditional or not something that you see every day. And connect with heaven, asking you shall receive. I really feel like this is, when I think of heaven, sometimes I think about connecting with your inner self, like connecting with who you are on the inside. Like remember all your special gifts that you've come here to like show and display. You can even be like, hey, what are my special gifts? Like, why do I feel, what's the word? Like an outcast. Why do I feel so different? Why do I feel like because I wasn't able to take a traditional path or do the traditional thing that I feel not good enough or not like I should be celebrated? And I think maybe if you pray and go within, it's going to help you see yourself more clearly, so that you won't forget the things that you have to bring to the table. Even like that energy I was getting of you, like maybe downplaying yourself, like don't do that. Do not downplay yourself. This thing that you do, this different thing that you do, this collecting all of these cups, this is a gift and a skill. Not everybody can do that. Sometimes people only can do this one thing that they do for 30 years because that's all they can do. Like, not knocking that, but that's not your ministry. You have other things that you can offer. You can offer so many things, as a matter of fact, and I think you should list all those things for yourself. But again, if you've got a resume out there, make sure to put that stuff on there too. Make sure when you're in interviews or wherever that you have to be, that you need to talk yourself up. Say you're doing like, I had to do this the other day where I needed to write a letter or like just like a brief synopsis of who I was. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. But like put all your stuff on there, all the things that you're good at, even if it doesn't fit in the situation or circumstance, like because it's you and you are a person who is in that situation, it's going to fit because you're there. Does that make sense? I hope it does. You can make it fit and make it make sense when it comes to whatever it is that you need to fit and make it make sense to. I really had it like when I was doing this, because again, I was writing about myself, but it was for something that I had never really done before. And I was like, well, how do all these gifts and skills that I have fit in here? But because I'm writing about myself and I am in this place and position, they had to fit. And so I was like, well, what's the story that brings them all together? I had to just think about that. So maybe like for you, especially when it comes to charity, I just heard clarity. Just like remember, like what's the thing that brings everything together? That like all the skills and gifts that you have, the things that bring them together might be your curiosity. It might be your willingness to learn new things. Like remember, those are the skills. Those are the things that are important. Not you staying somewhere for 30 years. Not you, I don't know, having the same, like living in the same city, living in the same house, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. It's your willingness to change. It's your willingness to move. It's your ability to chameleon, fit in any situation. Like those are like, remember those special gifts. And again, when it comes to asking you shall receive, like don't forget to ask, like, okay, so what is it? What do I bring to the table? Maybe you need to know. Maybe you don't know for yourself. Okay, pile number 3, that is your reading. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.